Go.
What's your settings for the what is that? The Ikamochu? Yours look way wider than mine is.
Is it this one here that's on my screen right now?
Yeah.
No, this is actually Pip Hunter. It's Pip Hunter baseline overlay. So I'll show you that right now. So let's go into this. There we go. Let's make this bigger. You can see my screen bigger, yeah?
Yep.
All right, yeah, let's go into this. So this is Pip Hunter baseline overlay. And all I did is I play around with any indicator I have. I always turn things on, turn them off. So like I put in my settings video, I've got settings changed here, like the downtrend, uptrend to 1 day. I've set the alligator to, it's an alligator ribbon. That's what this is, by the way. And I've set it to the same as symbol. I'm on a 4-hour chart at the moment. So when you go here, this is like the alligator settings. So you can change that alligator settings. This is what enables it, it's these ones here. So if you turn these off, this will turn off the ribbons one by one. And I'm trying to think here, yep, and this one here. See, that's the background. And here's the time frame here. So if I wanted to change it on a 4-hour, if I wanted to see a daily alligator, I'd be able to see it. So now it's changed the alligator to a daily. I'll just take off the background. If I wanted to change it to, I don't know, 15-minute, I wouldn't really go down though on a higher time frame. I'd go up. Let's just say if I was to go to a weekly. So it's telling me we're in a weekly downtrend, which is ironically matching what the auto trend is telling you as well. We're in a downtrend. Any other questions on it?
Nope. I'm gonna play with it.
Yep. Let's put this back to same as symbol. Okay. Just go to the chats. Bear with me if I'm running a bit slow. I'm just trying to work out hosting the actual Zoom, where all the buttons are to see everything. Yes, we are screen recording. Okay, cool. All right. Anybody got any questions on Pip Hunter, the baseline overlay, maybe the momentum, the trend, TDI? What do you need to know? Anybody? If not, I'm going to start going through my stuff. Let me see in the chat.
Do you have alerts? Sorry, do you have alerts set up on your TDI, or are you doing it off the flags?
Sorry, do I have a what set up on my TDI?
Any alerts?
Alerts. Yes, what you can do for an alert on your TDI, which is pretty cool, is you can do this, what we've got at the moment. So not this, sorry. Go to here. And what I would do if I'm setting an alert on this is how I would set it up. So obviously when I'm explaining to you guys and girls about the pullback system, this is a W here, as you can see, but we're in a downtrend. But even though we're in a downtrend, it still had enough momentum to go up a bit. Like how I explained in my video, you put Alt and V, you'd put a line here and be able to go to a 15-minute and scalp that. But what we're looking for is a pullback. So a clear defined pullback, what I'm talking about is, notice how the shark came out of the water here. Then it came back through here, the yellow line here. So this is an indication that you're going up for your lower high in the W. So here was your higher low, then your lower high. Then it went here, because we're in a downtrend, it's creating a lower low, that's why, instead of a higher low, second leg. But then there you go. So see, it's gone through the yellow line. And then when it's crossed back over here, here's my indication that I could have bought. And see how it started to go up. That was my second leg there. So what I would do to set alerts for this is that, being even a 4-hour chart, it'd be a lot slower. I would go to this. So I would go to, let's see if you can see this first. I would go to set alert. Then I would go to RSI. That's the one that turns red and green. Yeah. And then I'll go crossing. And then I'll go back to TDI again. So TDI, crossing. And then you want to go to middle band. Yeah. And then I'll go to once per bar close. That's Taylor that taught me about that one. So that's when the candle actually closes. And then I'll just go to create. So what it would actually do is it sets an alert now for me here. So when price goes through this line, let's say this was any time frame, it doesn't matter which time frame you do it on. If you do it on this 4-hour, it should be on a 4-hour alert though. When price goes through here.
The waiting room.
Sorry? So people are in the waiting room, yeah? Yeah, when price goes through here, I'll just mention this quickly. When price goes through here, what happens is that I'll get an alert as soon as it goes through there. And then you could even set another alert. So when it goes back through, you can get an alert that's gone through. So then at least you know you're waiting for your second leg, which is came over here. You understand that?
Yep, perfect. Thank you.
Okay, let's get this. Let's get some people back in this chat. That's what I need to do. I need to go back here. Waiting any other questions so I can just get this sorted.
Hey, John.
Yep.
One question: the on the candles, on the price action, on the base overlay, are they still indicating the RSI? Like when they're white, it's going to be fully bearish, and when they're grey, it's in a bullish move, or has that changed?
That's complete.
Especially.
Yeah, that's completely changed now. So Taylor would be the best one to answer that question again, as he updated it to make it better for us to see pullbacks. I kind of explained it in my new video as well, but if Taylor can give information on that, that would help.
What was the question? I missed it.
It's about the white and grey candles.
Yeah, they've changed their meanings now since the original kind of strategies.
The meaning as such is the same. It just shows it in 4 different ways. So you get if we go from bottom to top, you get a below 30, which is where they're white. You get the 50 to 30, which is where they're red. You get the 50 to 70, which is where they're green. And then 70 plus is where they're black. But yes, they are still related to the RSI.
Brilliant. But the more indicated towards a pullback now is what you're saying. Looking for pullbacks.
So yeah, one allows you to catch pullbacks a little bit easier, but 2, it also gives you sort of clear, if you know that you're in a downtrend, if you could wait until you get, say you're in a downtrend and you see a black candle, you know that chances are you're most likely that you're going to start keep going back down now because it's just had that full retracement going. And the same with white candles in an uptrend.
Right, yeah. Cool.
But the way I use them personally is I use them to grab entry points. So it's like I know that if it's a white candle or a black candle, I should wait for it to retrace a little bit to get my entry.
Right, got you. Yeah. Thanks for that.
So you're saying if it's going up and you see a white candle, you know it's about to retrace?
If price is coming down and you get the white candles, you know that you've got to, like, if you're looking for your sell, which you should be because we ride trends, you should be waiting for it to make the retracement. And likewise in an uptrend, if it goes to a black candle, you should wait for it to make its retracement before catching on to the trend.
Like here, is this an example for what you're saying, Taylor? So if you're in an uptrend, you'll wait to here basically, and then what I've noticed as well, which I'm going to put in another separate video, this is just explaining the baseline because I've seen how Taylor's basically created it now, watching the market over the last couple of months. You'll notice that when price actually pulls back against these lines, it's like a spring cushion almost. So unless it actually breaks this baseline, it's not actually going to change its trend. So what it's showing you here is simple, like likewise, as he said, the candles are one color here, which are gray. Then you've noticed here that it's changed. So this is an indication that, okay, you've come out of the unsafe zone, but then you've just got to wait for your entry now. What you can see here, which is perfect, if the dots as well, like Taylor said, if they match the 2 and the 7, then here you can see on your TDI, they crossed over to the bullish side here. So this was your indication here, even with Pip Hunter, momentum and trend, they've both turned green as well, pretty much around this side. You can see that it was already green here, but it was getting weaker towards whichever move it was here. So a bearish move, and then here. So you could have just got back in basically around this zone here.
Cool, appreciate it. And what was the dots you was talking about? What's the dots?
I'll switch those on now. Where is it? Go to settings, and that's these dots right here. So they're uptrend and downtrend dots, and you can also set them here. So let's set them to a 4 hour, and then yeah. So it's basically here. So you see here. So you have your crossover, and this is telling you that you'd be able to go back into this. You could have even got in here anyway because this candle was red. So you could have got back in there basically and took that out. And plus you had your momentum and your trend to take you up. So it would have been good.
Appreciate it.
These are 4 hour candles, so that's a lot of pips. That's a lot of pips. Let me see here. Yeah, that's 120 pips here in 3 days. Insane. Cool.
So like, I'm sorry.
Yeah, yeah.
Quick question. So going back to that whole swing, that whole long swing on
Yeah.
the 4 hour, going like back up a little bit in the beginning of that first huge bullish run.
Yeah.
Are you not that's like what, 3 days, 4 days of just like not really trading, just waiting for that momentum to start picking up?
Which point, from around here or from where we were just talking about right here?
I would say where it was red, like where the alligators turned from red to green,
Yeah.
and then now you're just seeing like, okay,
Let's say here.
yeah, right around there.
Yeah.
So like at that point, like obviously, are you trying to get that little scalp in? But like the real trade is probably like a day or two later
Yeah.
when you have more confirmation.
That's exactly what it is, because it's a trend tool. The best way to enter a trend, which Taylor did explain to me from, what is this? The meeting will end in 10 minutes. Taylor, I need the upgraded package. Yeah, what will actually happen here
When
is
this
that,
one ends, I'll host another.
yeah, no problem. I'll just be able to run the screen anyway, and then I'll do 2 recordings if I have to. So that's no problem. So what will actually happen here is, notice that there was a pullback. You don't want to just take the trade straight away. The best thing for you to do is break and retest. So you want it to break out, retest, which is what it did here, and then your entry would have been around here. You even had, so you could have got in, let's say if you was here. So you've got more than enough confirmation to tell you can pretty much get in here if you wanted to. But if not, you could just wait to one of these zones here, put your stop loss behind the baseline, and then ride the rest of the trade up, basically. And that's what you do.
Wow. Thank you. Because like
I got a
yeah.
question.
Go
I
ahead.
got a question about the new indicator that you just posted today. What is that really like doing?
What's that, the back D or the auto trend line? Which one?
The back D.
That's Taylor. He's your man for that.
Oh, he in here?
Yeah, Taylor's here.
The back D,
What's
the
up,
way I've
Taylor?
set it up for like the base setting is I've gone really long term. So if John wants to put it on his screen, that'd be great.
Yep.
And then I'll talk.
You've given me access to it, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go to the back D. Let's go to F. Then do I have to type it in, or is it my?
No, it should be in your invite only.
Is it, what would you have called it? Because I've only
Oh,
might have
hang
to
on.
refresh my screen. Oh.
It should be called Pip Hunter Back D from memory.
Yeah, let me just refresh, because whenever you get an update, you have to make sure you refresh. I think someone's microphone's on and they're outside. I can hear like rally cars outside. Hold on a second. Let's go to F. Let's go to invites. There we go. It's because I didn't refresh my screen. So if you want to put anything on favorites, by the way, if anyone doesn't know, just put a star here. You can go to favorites. Let's add the back D. And what settings am I doing with this, Taylor?
Just leave it as is. If you
As
want
is.
to,
Yeah.
if you want to go to like, if you just strip some charts clean or something and just have that on there on its own, I can talk a little bit about it.
Okay, no worries. So I'm going to remove my indicators anyway. And then I'm just going to put that back on, yeah?
Yep.
Cool, sweet as. The back D. Here we go.
So the back D, the way I've put the set file I've put on there is like the super long term. If you will kind of think about it in terms of, it's like it will go from bullish to bearish, but it's all very slow. If you have your grid mode turned on, you can also kind of look at the idea of getting overbought and oversold conditions. Obviously, they'll change per pair depending on its volatility, but you can get overbought and oversold conditions onto pairs when you've worked out what you want them set as. And also, this is their slow settings. So the slow settings for like holding a trade for a considerable amount of time and just kind of riding trends. So if you zoom way out, you'll see where it's getting you in, telling you can sort of be in that direction. You'll end up with like some massive movements happening within that. Now, when you've got like the overall direction given to you like that, you can then start looking at it, that being like your overall direction for the day, week, whatever, and then you can use the other tools to start going really finite detail of going, right now it's time to get what I'm looking for. So it's like you might go, this is a retracement on for the long-term buy based off of everything else. It means I can get in onto this. The other thing you can do is if you spot a position forming on, say, the 15 or 30 minute, what you could then do is drop down to the 1 minute and use the back D. As soon as that confirms it, like say it crosses into your direction, you could then hop on, which then give you a very, very low drawdown trade, if not zero drawdown. The other option is you could use it as a final confluence. So you find it on the 15 or 30 minute and then hop onto the 1 minute, see it's already crossed, and then you know you're all right to go.
So if we on a 15 minute and then we go to the 1 minute or the 5 minute, right? Do we have to change any of the settings, or we just leave it?
Just leave it. See if it's
It's
confirmed
auto.
on the 1 minute
It's
as well.
auto. All right.
And you just waiting for the lines to cross each other and change the same color?
Yep. So the way it's working is that it change. Well, if there's even alerts set to it, so it'll tell you when it's crossed as well. But the way it's set at the moment is just when one line crosses the other, it goes green. When the other one happens, it goes red. It's a nice, simple one to read.
Yeah, that's a good indicator.
Excellent. If you actually use it with market structure as well, be really good.
And that auto trend, I like that.
Yeah, I found it really, really helpful.
Very helpful.
Well, did you look at it from the weekly perspective that I showed you?
Hell yeah.
It opened my eyes. When I saw it, I said, damn, all this stuff. I'm looking at 300 pip moves. I'm like, damn. I'm like, this is that 1 to 8 RR they keep talking about. So, yeah, no, it's really cool. Any other questions on this before I put my chart back to how it was before?
Yeah,
The
I
other
mean,
thing with the,
go ahead.
the other thing with the back D is if you drop the settings down, so Big John, if you open up the setting for it,
Say no more. Yep.
if you go to like 21 and 2 or something, 21 and 5.
Here or here? Which one? Slow.
So 21 on the top and 5 on the bottom or something.
21 and here 5, yeah?
Yeah.
Cool.
It will start getting a lot spikier, and that's when I would then start putting your own overbought and oversold lines on each pair, going, this is where it's on average going to be overbought and oversold, and then you can start catching perfect reversal points where it's like, oh, hit the overbought condition, we know that it's time to sell.
I just pressed Alt and H, by the way. Alt and H to do that. Where would you know overbought and oversold zones are here? 80 and 20 or 70, 30?
It'd be a case of going per pair, defining what your condition would be. So
Okay.
it's almost like you'd have to back test it on each pair.
Yeah. And what's great about this as well when you do that is you can just do this and then add an alert on your horizontal line. So whenever this actually goes past it, basically what it'll do is it will give you an alert, same way you do the other one, just once per bar close. So then once you do back test it, like how Taylor's telling you, you've got some sort of system, you can do something like that. So then you don't have to stare at charts all day.
Auto trend. How do I get the auto trend? I don't see it in
The auto trend. Okay, give me a second. Come out of here. Let me see if anyone else is in here. This meeting's about to cut in about 2 minutes, so we'll get some people. We've got like almost 37 people in here. So we popping on Saturday, yeah? Let's go. Auto trend. Now, what you want to do is type an here. So AN, yeah? And then it would just be this one here. So be that one there. But when you have got it on your system, what you want to do here, this is how I have mine. You want to change this. Because on the first video where I had it on the daily, and that was kind of showing me, it was the trend within the trend. But as well, intraday traders, it's better for us to have a bigger picture, as they always say as well, people that trade long-term swing, etc. So it doesn't mean that we can't see the swing perspective, but still scalp. And it's better for us because then we won't get caught up in the mix. That's why I decided to do that. So you want to change this to weekly, and then you want to change this to extend. And then what I did is, to make it more sensible for me, I made the up channel, it was at the top, obviously changed that to red. And then I made the lower channel to green, obviously for buy. And then I just left the rest the same. And then as you zoom out now, what I did is I made the lines a bit thicker. You'll see my lines, man. Let's say 4. There you go. And that's it there. So now you can see some sort of structure in price. You see?
You can still use that. You can still use the same one on the 15-minute, right?
Yeah, it's the same. It's going to be a weekly auto
it's
trend
going
on
to
the
be
15.
Facts. It'll be a weekly lookout on a 15-minute chart.
That's why I made that video. I'm giving you people this house.
Giving niggas this.
This house. You got to just zoom out like this. And then
Right.
look here. Now look how crazy that move was. So now instead of having to enter on a 4-hour chart, now you just wait for a 15-minute chart. So, and that's why I gave you the way to do it. Exactly. Look at that trade. Even though it's a downtrend, it still gave you all of this. So how many pips was this?